Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're with us this Monday morning. Got a big show lined up with special guests here. But first, as always, we want to take a look at our weather. Brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard, hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs, and it's going to be comfortable. High of 83, low of 62. Good fall weather. It's going to be a great week. Looks like weather-wise, a great opportunity to get outdoors and get some activity going on. Water temperature at the end of the pier is at 79 degrees. Our Monday moon phase brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. We had that full moon last Thursday night. It was just awesome. I know a lot of y'all talked about it. I saw all kind of pictures. The moon was setting and the sun was rising at the same time. Spectacular. And God's beautiful nature just doesn't get much better than that moon and sun together like that. So I'm glad y'all got to enjoy it. So right now the moon is in a waning phase, and another week and a half we'll be talking more about it. But anyway, it's great. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Looking at a low tide, we're in sort of good tide today, not great tides, but low tide is at 11:47 this morning, and there'll be high tide is going to be after midnight, about 12:07. And wind is going to be northeast at 5 or 10, like it's been most of the time for the past 3 or 4 weeks, but not very strong today. I'll take a break. We'll come back with our special guest.
The new Temper-Active Breeze delivers a warming bed for you and cooling comfort for your partner. So say goodbye to thermostat fights and hello to better sleep with personalized climate control. Only available at the Sleep Center.
Empire Real Estate of Florida, making your real estate dreams a reality throughout the Panhandle and more. If you're considering buying or selling real estate, please call 850-247-8868.
Real-time Fisher Seafood Restaurant and Market on Highway 22. Fresh, delicious seafood cooked daily, shrimp boil, oyster bar, steam bar, and now featuring fresh barbecue smoked on-site chicken, pulled pork, and we'll cater large groups. Check out the seafood market with a great selection of some of the freshest seafood around. Friendly service, great food at a reasonable price. Real-time Fisher Seafood Restaurant and Market.
Kramer Marine and Outdoor is your trusted source for all your outboard boat and motor needs. We carry Skeeter Bay boats, all-wheeled aluminum boats, and have the largest selection of outboard motors, parts, and accessories in the area. And our master-certified, factory-trained technicians are ready to take care of you. So shop us online at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com or visit us at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM. We're here to keep you out on the water.
Come see our new collection of lift chairs here at the Sleep Center. We have everything from basic chairs to fancy chairs with heat, massage, stay clean fabric, even extra large comfort chairs that lift up to 500 pounds.
Sleep Center, where it's bedtime all day long.
Welcome back, and welcome back to Coach Ernie Martin, Crestview High School outdoor education teacher. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Morning, sir. Good to see you again.
Appreciate you driving over this morning and sharing your things on the show.
Yes, sir.
I have a lot of admiration for Ernie for the job he does in outdoor education, teaching a lot of kids over there in Okaloosa County, the western end of a Panhandle, and things are going well.
Yes, sir. And the admiration I have for you is great because you're kind of one of the pioneers of getting this outdoor ed stuff, and we did a lot of curriculum and development at track meets together, talking about what we wanted to do and how we could do it, and using our resources at hand to be able to share the outdoor that's in Bay County and the outdoor that's in Okaloosa County. It's been a blessing.
I remember we had the kids be running and all, and we'd be talking about outdoors. Wait a minute, we need to check our time and all. We had some great times back in the day.
Catching splits and talking about cleaning fish.
That's exactly right. Exactly. We're talking about, we've got so much to talk about today. We're going to try to squeeze it all in. But, you brought something here that's very fascinating this time of the year. We talk about sugarcane and all that.
Yes, sir.
And you have a great tie into the sugarcane over in your end of the
Yes, sir. I've been blessed. I was born into a large family. They lived up in the rural part of Okaloosa County in an area called Escambia Farms. My parents went to a one-room schoolhouse for a long time. But being farmers and having to live off the land and learn how to grow, if you wanted to eat it, you either grew it, caught it, or raised it.
That's right.
Or you went out in the woods and harvested it. But in November, every time, the Saturday before Thanksgiving week, my grandfather, Charles Barnes, was, I guess, with a lack of social media and barely a telephone, was still pretty famous because people would take their wagons or however they could transport themselves and make the trip to Escambia Farms and bring whatever they wanted to trade to be able to get some of Papa Charlie's cane syrup. And the process of making cane syrup is a process that is from start to finish. Once you get started, if you start at 8 a.m. on Saturday, you may not get through to 8 a.m. on Sunday. Because once you start it, you keep going until the last drip hits the bucket. But his syrup making expertise was known, and people would travel all over. And a lot of Papa's side hustle income, if you will, was being able to make that syrup, and him having all of his sons and daughters doing the process. And it kept getting passed down, and I would say it's been over 35 years, and 2 years ago was the last bit of syrup making for our family. It finally come to a stop. Just wasn't as many people that wanted to be a part of the process anymore. I mean, we are a community of convenience now. Yeah. But to bring this to the outdoor ed kids, it's amazing because I start out like this and they're like, Coach, what are you doing with bamboo? I'm like, well, and then when I started explaining the process, back when my aunt and my sister were a little bit younger, I would start the process with this, and they would walk into class with fresh made biscuits and cane syrup. And we've had the newspaper there several times to document the thing. And I would always have to preface the kids, I'm like, listen, what you have at the restaurants in this area, when you have your waffles and your pancakes, that syrup you put on that is not what you're about to taste.
All processed.
It's processed. It's different. This is pure, made from scratch cane syrup. It's not going to taste the same. And I tell them, I said, some of you may not like this, because it's not what you're used to. And some of you are going to taste something for the first time, and every kid, if I had 120 kids in a total of 3 classes, I would probably have a maximum of 3 kids that ever tasted it. Oh, yeah. So it was so new. And the camera guy would just be waiting. I said, wait till you see them taste it so you can get the expressions. And you got everything from, oh my gosh, this is the new candy, to I will never put that in my mouth again. and I told them it's okay. And my sister and my aunt would talk to them a little bit, because my aunt was part of that process her entire life. And they would taste, and it was neat to get the experience out to those kids, because this is a part of history and culture of not only my family, but generations all over the South that make syrup. And it is gone, basically. You'll see it a very few times. The 2 farms that were growing it and making the syrup that I knew of do not do it anymore in the Baker community. And it's sad to see, but at least I still have an opportunity to bring the information out and to show the kids and still be able to purchase the syrup so they can have that experience.
That's cool. And we do have one farm left here in the Panhandle, West Gaston, the Clark farm. We talked about it, process, exactly what goes on, but it is there's not many at all left.
No, sir. That's
and here's the irony of the whole thing. Last night I had a biscuit and cane syrup. I had no idea who was going to bring cane this morning, so isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's funny because I would teach the kids. I said, all right, I'm going to teach you two things. I'm going to teach you the definition of sopping, and then I'm going to teach you how we at the house make a country donut. And you know, and I tell them, I said, all right, take your thumb, mash a hole in the top of that biscuit, fill it up with that syrup, and go to it.
We need to do more of that. Now, you see why I'm glad it's in the classroom? Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Happiness is what encourages us all, and at PCU, we know the community is made better by the happiness of our members. Members who understand the advantage they have through our checking, savings, and lending products. Products that improve their lives, their families, and their community. So, when you're looking into your financial options, know that our products are designed with you in mind. Because the happiest people create the best communities. Panhandle Credit Union. Banking made better.
Folks, are you looking for an old school bait and tackle store? Then stop by locally owned Weewall Wiggler Bait and Tackle on Highway 22, Weewall. Fresh bait, worms, crickets, minnows, a big selection of top-of-the-line tackle, lures from the old reliable to the latest and hottest ones coming out. Cane poles, all sizes, leads and lines, famous Weewall Wiggler t-shirts, everything you need to make your next fishing trip a great one. Weewall Wiggler Bait and Tackle.
Lighting by Levon is your one-stop shop for elegant lighting solutions to fit every home. Visit our beautiful showrooms for free consultations and delivery. Low prices and the best service in the Panhandle. Service is what we sell. Lighting by Levon at Inlet Beach, 13123 Emerald Coast Parkway, Suite F, 850-502-4438. And in Lynn Haven, 809 Florida Avenue, 850-769-1232.
Explore the retail paradise that has everything for your outdoor adventure. Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. Make your outdoor journey complete at Blue Water Outriggers. Come visit us today.
Okay, welcome back. Coach Ernie Martin, Crestview High School, native of Okaloosa County, and you see the upbringing he had and the family heritage he had, and he has that desire to share it with young people, which I'm so glad. And speaking of young people, you sent me a picture of this guy. Tell me the story here. I love this story.
This is one of our senior Emerald Coast Youth Bassmaster anglers. His name is Reese Killian. He is a senior at Crestview High School, and he is about the bass fishing tournament circuit. He has sharpened his skills. He has been there. This will be his 4th year. Mm-hmm. He has really gotten good. This about 3 weeks ago, he was invited to the Logan Parks bass tournament up. I think it's on Lake Martin mm-hmm. in Alabama, and the way they run this tournament is high school anglers register, college anglers register, and they will pair a high school angler with a college angler, and the college angler will be in charge of the boat operation and stuff like that. But they will go and fish as a team. Oh, and Reese and his partner went out, and they finished up in 9th place and cashed a check for $1,500. And probably more important than that is, Coach, he said, I'm starting to get offers for colleges. I said, cool. Keep fishing, keep working, prove yourself, worthy of it, and there'll be even more. And we're really proud of him and all of our anglers in the Emerald Coast Youth Bassmasters. And him and his partner are getting ready to start. They were going to go to the tournament last month at Lake Seminole, but the hurricane that Helene came through, it came through right through Central Florida, and a lot of our student anglers live in that area, and they canceled it and pushed it back to the November 1 in Palatka.
Okay.
So they'll get cranked up on that soon.
Good deal. Now you've been able to do a little bit of yourself, a little bit of fishing and all. We know what time of year this is. We've been talking about it on the show about our fall run of mullet and red roe and all that. So I got tickled during the break. You were telling me you had to teach a work day, and So what kind of work did you do?
Yeah, when I got through my work at a school, I went and worked on some mullet. So I grew up on Choctawhatchee Bay. I mean, Crestview's probably 25, 30 miles from it. But my brother-in-law had a cast net back in the 60s and 70s that I started learning on. And then he decided we was going to upgrade our catch, and we had a 350-foot gill net. And there's not a stretch of Choctawhatchee Bay that net wasn't in, from Freeport to Choctaw Beach to Hogtown, all the way around. I've drugged that net through there, and I understand that people to the west, because my wife is from Mississippi Gulf Coast, and if you start talking about frying mullet, they look at you like you got 3 heads, because they don't eat them over there. And I wouldn't eat it over there either, because it's either going to taste like mud if it lived in that river system, or 30-weight racing oil if it was around those rigs. So over here, you know as well as I do, them jokers belong on the grill or in the grease. And I love going down there and catching them. It gets me some exercise. I throw my cast net, and this picture right here, you know, my wife likes to go and hang out at the bay and relax, and while she's doing that, she's on the bank spotting fish for me, and I'm out waiting around catching some. And
so what time of day was this? About?
It's real simple. It's whenever high tide is. I'll start about 30 minutes before high tide, because what I've learned about fishing, especially in the bay, and if you're going mullet fishing, they will flow with the tide to feed. As the tide comes in and it raises closer to the shore, the mullet will follow it right in. And I've been there before and not even got my feet wet and caught all the mullet I wanted. So to me, it's all about the tide. And I used to not do that. I used to not even go before 10, 11 o'clock at night, because I wanted it still and quiet and all that. But I guess with age comes wisdom, and I've learned that more importantly is it being high tide. And I think that is kind of like the sugar cane too, because if I went 7 or 8 times this summer, I probably didn't see but one person that was even doing what I was doing. You don't see a lot of people out wading. You know, Niceville had the Boggy Bayou Mullet Festival for forever and ever and ever, and now it ceased to exist.
Really? And I've been to that before.
Yeah, it's, you know, a lot of these traditions and the way we do things back then have kind of disappeared with time, which to me, as long as my heart's beating and my legs are working and I can sling that net over a school of mullet, they're going to get brought back to Crestfield. And they're going to get shared with the families around me.
How many do you have in that ice chest in that picture? How many do you have in there?
That's my small ice chest. It had 25.
Okay.
So you got to understand now, I did get a little smarter. You know, I used to try to catch my limit of 50, but cleaning 25 is a lot better than cleaning 50.
25 is enough. Right.
It was enough. We eat a few of them, and like I said, we give them to friends and family, and they're much appreciative when we share them.
Tell me about the roe. What's the roe looking like?
Well, the ones I caught the other day, they weren't full. They were growing. I would say that the roe that I looked at and examined when I was cleaning those mullet was 3/4 ready.
Okay.
So I would think that they would be full and getting ready to lay out here with this moon that just passed, or they may be cycled off a couple of weeks and they may end up spawning on the new moon. I've heard them do that before.
That'd be interesting. We've got about a week and a half for the new moon. And,
yes, sir.
And that might be, I would think, you know, late October usually sort of bonanza time when you're really getting into it. And I love that. You eat red roe?
I will eat. I have eaten a small dump truck full of fried gizzards and backbones and fillets. I'm not a roe fan.
That's it. But I love the roe, but I don't like the big old roe. I like the sort of small roe.
But then you need to catch them now, because that's about what they are.
Okay.
And I know it's coming because I fished a bass tournament from the Three Rivers Bass Club over in Milton, and was in the lower end of the Blackwater River estuary, and that river is full of mullet moving up the spawn, and probably 6 or 7 tons of menhaden that are schooled up. And sure enough, I saw a bass busting menhaden over there and threw that topwater bait, and the first fish I caught was about 6 pounds. The problem was it had stripes and dots. It was a hybrid, and they wouldn't let me weigh it in. I don't know why. It was a bass, but it wasn't the ones I could weigh in. But I imagine if it's that way in Blackwater and Yellow River, that these rivers over here, everything's moving up in it, including the shrimp.
And that's what we talk about, the water temperature and all that this time of year. Every day is important, and the tide's coming in, they're coming in there feeding, and we'll talk about it, and it's just, and I'm glad you shared it from over there because that's exactly what's going on.
I don't think it just happens in one area. It's trending everywhere.
Yeah, that's cool. We're going to take our final break. Come back with Coach Ernie Martin from Crestview.
At Bay Smile Docks, we know how to make you smile. We're open early at 7 a.m. We're open late until 8. Request an appointment at baysmiledocks.com or call 271-2341 today.
Rough and Tough Dog Food from Harold Mill and Company. In business over 75 years, they offer top quality and nutritionally balanced food for all your animals. Your chickens will love HMC feeds, as well as your cattle and pigs. Time proven, rough and tough for your dog. Want them healthy? Rough and tough. Want them happy? Rough and tough. Only the best from Harold Mill and Company.
BJ's Marine Service. With over 44 years in business, they're dedicated to offer you the very best in marine service. BJ's Marine will repair any marine motor. Dependable and experienced. They won't be satisfied until you're satisfied. Local business that is family owned with a tradition of excellent service. Trust your motor to the best. BJ's Marine, 1317 Transmitter Road.
My name is Walter Woodrick, and I am a certified financial planner practitioner at Woodrick Financial in Port St. Joe, Florida. I do business through LPL Financial, the country's #1 independent broker-dealer. I would love to meet you. There's no cost to chat. The financial plans I create for clients really help bring clarity and perspective. You can call, text, email, or stop by. Just Google Woodrick Financial.
At Bay Smile Docks, we know your time is precious. That's why Bay Smile Docks opens early at 7 and we're open late until 8. Request an appointment at baysmiledocks.com or call 271-2341 today.
Okay, welcome back. Let's quickly take a look at our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. 3:06 to 5:06 this morning, this afternoon, 3:37 to 5:37. And we're looking at, talking about a lot about fishing and all, but you were talking, we got one more picture to show. Let's show this one real quick. This is a nice, what's the story behind this one?
If you look at that fish, you can tell that fish wasn't caught in the fall or the summertime. That is a fish that I caught and released. That was a bass that was on bed. She was bedding, and I wanted to catch her and weigh her and release her to see what it was. A little over 7 pounds. I was fortunate enough several years ago to get invited on a fishing trip, my father-in-law and we went with the world famous Shaw Grigsby. He took us a couple times, and he said, you want to get your pond-in-law from Mississippi a double-digit bass, you need to be down here President's Day weekend because I've got some found. And in that 1.5 day of fishing for bass on the bed, I learned a world of knowledge from that man. When they say he is the best bass sight fisherman in the world, that's unbelievable how well he is. And he taught me some ways to read the fish. And if you know anything about fishing for bedding bass, you know that it can be really frustrating because you can go out there and look at that fish and cast and cast and cast and cast and cast, and that big sow ain't looking at it. She's just swimming around. And what Shaw taught me is being able to read when that female bass finally commits to that nest. And when we went out, we went to an area in Central Florida. It will remain nameless. I told him that. And we were riding. He called it shopping cart fishing because we were using the big outboard motor idling up, and he was steering with a trolling motor. And he looked over, found a bass. It was over double digits. He took it out of gear, dropped the power poles, and my father-in-law, he looked over there and showed him what to do. And on the second cast, he put one in the boat about 11.6.
Whoa, that sounds easy.
What's funny about Shaw is that's his livelihood. That's how he's made his life. And when my father-in-law stuck that bass, you would have thought Shaw Grisby just won the Classic. He was running around that boat, yelling and screaming and having a good time. And I was looking at him like, this is your first big fish. But he's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
He is so excitable, and he enjoys when other people have success. And then we went on about the day, and I spotted one, and he looked at her and never slowed down. And I said, that's as big as his. He goes, she ain't ready. I said, oh. So in the process of that day, we went and fished, and he was teaching me and my father-in-law how to read the fish. He goes, now does that one look like you can catch her? You see what she looks like? Flipped over there, caught her first cast. Kept moving around. And what was funny is that big fish we had seen, another bass boat pulled up on it. And I looked back, I said, Shaw, somebody's on it. He said, they ain't gonna catch her. She ain't gonna be ready. Probably won't be ready till we get ready to leave. Sure enough, 2 hours later, I'm riding around learning the newfound trick I'd learned, and I go, she ain't ready, is she, Shaw? Pop said, I don't think she is either. And Shaw would go, no, y'all right, let's go and find another one. And we got busy doing that, and he punched me on the shoulder and says, you want to go catch that big one now? I said, you think she's ready? He says, you go find out. So we went over there, pulled up by her, and I looked at her, my father-in-law looked at her, we looked at Shaw, he says, go get her. So it was an awesome experience.
That's some good fishing tips, right?
Yes,
there.
sir.
You got to keep looking.
You got to learn how to read the fish, and it changes. And if you want that information, it ain't on sale, but it's for sale. So just give me a call.
Okay, we got about a minute or two left. Let's get back to outdoor education. What all you got coming up with your classes?
We are in the middle of getting ready for our Boat Smarts Boat Safe certification. They're making changes in the Tallahassee office about the exam, and our class, through Dr. Wilbur Higley, who was a big proponent of getting us started in Okaloosa County, the test that they give for this has gone through our school for over 20 years, and we're pushing over 3,000 students being certified just out of Crestview High School. And a lot of my kids that sign up for the class sign up to get that card because they have heard from previous students that card equals better summer paying jobs in our area. Yeah. Like I've got a couple kids right now that are college kids, and I had one kid in particular use that card, got his captain's license, and in 2 months made $20,000 running a pontoon charter for one of the companies.
A lot of tip money.
Yes, sir.
That's great.
And they've figured out how to make enough money where they don't have to try to go to school and work. They can focus on their studies. And they've been blessed by it. So if they've been blessed, I've been blessed.
I love hearing these stories of
yes, sir.
Running that stuff in outdoor and then putting it to use like that.
Being able to use it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So you got boating safety coming up. Then we got about a minute left. What else you got?
We have started tying knots. We're doing our knot tying exam right now. I'm teaching them everything from the cinch, improved cinch, the loop, the Palomar, the double uni. I try to teach them how to tie braid to monofilament. There again, Shaw Grisby has been a proponent of outdoor ed. He taught me a new knot that he uses to tie fluorocarbon to braided fishing line, and it's a combination of the uni knot on the braid side and the improved cinch on the fluorocarbon side, and I got no complaints. It works. I may break the fluorocarbon, but knot's going to be there.
Good deal. So, and the kids, they love doing those knots.
Yes.
They're doing something with their hands and all.
What I found out is this. I'll have a young lady that can go over here and snell a circle hook with 50-pound braid, and two boys over there struggling with it. I know. And I go, hey, hon, go teach them.
Okay, we're going to have to get out of here, Ernie. Thank you for coming up.
Oh, man. Yes, sir.
Great to see you. Folks, appreciate y'all watching the show. Y'all support the outdoor education programs in your school system. Do something good for someone else today. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.